What's up, everyone? Oh, Buster, are you a good pit bull? Do you have feelings? Do you feel real love? Do you have thoughts, hopes, and dreams? Are you a good dog? What about you, Captain Tap Tap? Are you good? Oh, you're so handsome. What a handsome guy. You're so good. Kiss, kiss, kiss. No? I'll kiss her face. Mr. Leonard. Buddy, come on. Good boy. Hi, Busty. Hello. Okay, alright. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I can't see your chat just yet. But let's do this. Huh. This is so interesting because I remember John Garvin telling me all... Well, alright. If the boys say so. This is weird. Is the chat coming through? I see a bunch of viewers, but I don't see the chat thing. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Thank you, boys. Thank you. It's okay. False alarm. False alarm. Okay, closing it up. Closing it up. Oh, is it a wolf? Is it a wolf? Leonard! We can hear you, buddy. Alright, stand by, stand by. Okay, I can get chat now. This is good. What's up, guys? What's kind of fun about this is we shot a bunch of mocap. We heard about all these locations, but we were on a mocap stage, and now finally these places that I try to create in my imagination are real. Last night I was playing, some friends came over and we were experimenting with the game, and we definitely did some things that I'm not sure you're supposed to do, but we survived, which was really, really fun. Doing good. Doing good. How are you guys? What is this place? Wow. Gorgeous. Okay. Yeah, so last night we some friends were over, and we they wanted to see Days Gone, so we put it on, and we found this Nero checkpoint that was basically there was like a horde hanging out near this Nero checkpoint, and we kept trying to get into the place, but the horde, we kept sort of triggering the horde and running away, and it was a smaller horde, admittedly. So we kept trying, we kept experimenting, threw some Molotovs, and what I love is that during some sort of weather pattern, what is this? Hold on a second. During some sort of weather pattern, the horde moved off to go and drink.
Hey, how's it going out there? How's it going?
Hey, you keeping busy?
The horde moved off to drink and then later to eat. And when they did that, we were able to move on the Nero checkpoint. And it took us, I think, a couple of day and night cycles to do it. But that's the kind of thing that I love to do with open world games, is to be like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Fine. Okay, I get what I'm supposed to do. What can I do if I really try to get creative here? And no, I didn't take down a horde early on or anything like that. But I was able to sneak past something that they were kind of guarding, which felt really, really cool and awesome. Made me feel like Deacon St. John or whatever. Whoa, no. Repair and refuel. Oh, thank you very much from Puerto Rico. What's up, Heaven Sent? How far am I into the game? You know, honestly, I think only like while your bike is idle, you can walk it backward or forward. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, so I'm critical on gas. Oh, that's not good. So I'll see if I can just glide it down this hill.
This is Radio Free
Oh
Oregon.
my God.
The truth shall set you free.
Oh, I'm out of gas.
Is a gift for us all.
Okay.
We see to provide for ourselves and our families. I'm not saying this. It's the Lord that gave us dominion over it.
Whoa!
They wanted more. When our fuel got low, they jacked up the prices so they could consolidate power into their own hands. So,
Dude,
we wanted to build dams for electricity.
it's almost as if this world comes for you, dude.
Were more important than heating our homes. We wanted to cut a few trees to build those homes. But the nests of a few spotted owls were more important than the entire timber industry.
Wow.
Now that the feds have gone to ground, let's just say we've eliminated the middleman. No one can stop us from taking what's rightfully ours.
I guess
This
not.
is Mark Copeland for Radio Free Oregon. Don't believe the lies.
Don't believe the lies.
Thing is, Cope, fuel prices have come down lately, way down. Only problem is you gotta find it yourself. And last I checked, there were plenty of assholes out here trying to take what's rightfully ours.
You know what's so interesting is hearing this character talk. I have very little memory of performing this stuff. Alright, let's see if I can go get some fuel back at Copeland's camp since I was a dumbass and left. Or not Copeland's camp, this is Lost Lake, or where is this?
Right on target.
I'm doing okay tonight. I'm doing okay. I just wanted to get back into this a little bit. I remember the show being human. I do remember.
Okay. Finally. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very special show for us to make. You know, something I haven't really talked about that much is so the Crash Tones record. The Crash Tones record that is I'm in the process of releasing. I mean, I'm releasing the physical stuff, but the digital hasn't quite come out just yet. A good deal of that music on the record was kind of some of those songs were started and conceived of while we were finishing Being Human. Like it was a weird thing. Like we were all feeling so because season 4 was always, in terms of the people that worked on the show, we all knew that season 4 was going to be the last season. We wish they would have told the fans that, because that would have been, you guys would have been a lot more prepared. But Being Human was such an emotional experience for the actors and the writers involved that I don't know, I was kind of feeling it so much that I kind of had this weird what? Oh my God! Oh God! That was awesome. That was awesome. Wow. Okay, so we were all, whoa! Come on. Oh my God. Okay. Sure. All right. We're good. So yeah, Jesus, that was crazy. Being Human was such an emotional experience for us, or I'll just speak for myself. For me, I can speak for everyone, I guess, because we were all feeling emotional. But it was a big deal for all of us, and I don't know, as it was coming to a close, I was feeling, I don't know, especially emotional about the whole thing, and just started coming up with these sketches for songs. Literally had to go out and buy some equipment because I didn't have any in Montreal when we were shooting, and started recording on my computer these very sort of primitive versions of the songs. And And I started again through the grace of the producers, because imagine the horror when their actor gets a hold of them and says, "Hey, I'd like to write some music for the series," which I did say. And they were like, "Okay, you know, we have a composer and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I want to write some stuff too," because I saw some scenes that I really felt strongly about. And this is in season 4. And so I started composing some stuff. Bought some equipment and started recording and composing some stuff. And some of that stuff is actually, some of the score music is in some of the Being Human episodes. I don't think I've ever talked about this, funny enough. And I kept telling the producers, I'm like, "Guys, I'm just going to send you like free tracks. Think of them as temp tracks that you can, you know, put to screen." And a lot of them were very kind of synth based and stuff like that. And I said, "Don't worry, anything you don't use, I'll make a record out of it." Is what I kept telling them. And so it is with great pride that, I mean, and first of all, they used some of it. They used some of the music that I recorded and came up with. For example, one of the, off the top of my head, when Megan has that weird, when Sally goes to the alternate universe version of life and meets Aiden in the hospital because she has a sprained wrist. That moment where we meet each other, I came up with the music for that and a couple of other little moments. And they used it. It was just kind of, they were throwing me a bone. It was like, I really wanted to try my hand at sort of like scoring scenes and stuff, and so they let me do it. But there were also other scenes that I kind of came up with stuff for. Like, for example, if you guys have I know some of you have ordered the Crash Tones record and maybe are waiting for it to come in, but some of you already have it. And the song Arson fit really well in this one, in the scene where Aiden kisses the dude. If you guys know the one I'm talking about, where that big fight happens and he almost gets killed, and Sally does the thing. Anyway, Arson started getting developed for that scene. There's also other scenes where, for example, The Night the World Ended was developed. There was a scene where, in that same alternate universe episode, where Aiden and Bishop, played by Mark Pellegrino, were like selling a bunch of blood and stuff and making a bunch of money. And Aiden walks in, and it's sort of like this. I was like, I kind of came up with this sort of Vegas track. It was very grim stuff, like the scene, and I'm like, what if the music was opposite? And they were like, yeah, we're not going to go in that direction and stuff. But I'm like, that's great. Then I get to use it for myself. So yeah. Anyway, I never really told anyone that a lot of the music, not all of it, but a good deal of it in the record, the songs, at least the sketches of the songs, what would become the songs, started when I was shooting season 4 of Being Human, just because I don't know, and it was weird. I'd never written music that fast, so I was definitely feeling something. But yeah, if you like listen to the song Arson, and again, I don't like telling people what songs are about. I kind of think of them as like stories that people could interpret. And Arson definitely, it's about things and stuff. But if you look at some of the, on the surface, some of the lyrics, and you think about the end of the series, you'll kind of see a connection there in terms of some of the lyrics. So anyway, sorry guys. Someone said they loved Being Human, and I was honor bound to respond. It's not my fault. How the game has been selling, I have no idea. All I know is I was trying stuff out in this game that I should not have been trying, and I survived, and I got some stuff done. And I do not know, Mr. Buster, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, I love how these guys act as if they don't get any exercise. Oh my God, what are you doing? Are you good? Are you good? Well, sorry, the chat is going kind of quick, and on this. I apologize in advance if I can't. I'm kind of concentrating on the game, and I'm going to be terrible at answering questions, but I will eventually answer them. But yeah, one of the things that I'm starting to really Because okay, when I was playing Fallout 1, guys, go back to the year it was 1875, and when Fallout 1 came out, um, my girlfriend at the time got it for me, and what is going on, puppies? What are you doing? And what's happening? And why are you dogs? And what's going on? What's going on, buddies? And when Fallout came out, I remember, because Fallout didn't have any graphics really to speak of, even for the time, and I didn't even know what to make of the game at first. And my girlfriend had gotten it for me, and she didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was, and I was playing it, and this is crazy. You think that these guys haven't had any exercise today, but no, we went for a 4-mile jog today. It's just that this is what happens when you have these puppies. Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! What's in the box? Oh, God! Oh, God! No, God! What's in the box? This is working, guys. What's in the box? Oh, God! Oh, God! What's in the box? Sorry. Okay, so Fallout. Trying to get to the story. I was playing the game, and I wasn't loving it. And then it was that first thing where I think it was Shady Sands. There's the Raider camp. And when I realized that I could sort of approach the problem of the Raider camp in creative ways, and I started doing stuff that I thought was like, oh, this is going to be weird if I try this, and it was like kind of working. I fell in love with the game instantly. I'm like, oh my God, this game is amazing. Oh my God. And I kind of like that in games. I like for example, in Thief the Dark Project, that there are, you have to figure those problems out for yourself. And yesterday, me and some friends were experimenting with Days Gone. Kind of, again, just piddling around, trying to get into this Nero checkpoint that was basically being guarded by a horde, which said to me I was not supposed to get in there yet, And we experimented and messed around with stuff and tried a bunch of weird things, threw some Molotovs, set up some traps, didn't kill the horde at all, but eventually got into the checkpoint by basically watching, weirdly, their migration patterns. It was like over a long period of time, and got in there. That felt really, really good. So this is the kind of, again, like I'm happy to report that Days Gone has so far been my kind of game. Which is never a foregone conclusion when you work on something. You go, okay. I mean, I hope I like it, but I like that kind of stuff. I like messing around with stuff. I like doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, and then the game it sort of allows for that. It's sort of a simulation. It's kind of like, again, it was like Force Unleashed. I loved the fact that there was like a physics sim at the heart of Force Unleashed. Oh, God.
Got you.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, here we go.
All right, what was I trying to do? Oh, what the fuck is going on here? Just talk really loud in the game while others talk normal? Don't know. I don't know if that's true or if that's the way that you have it set up. I'm not sure. Yeah, Havoc and DMM and all the... Oh, shit. Are you a raider? I hope I killed the right guy. Yeah, right. Havoc and Digital Molecular Matter for Force Unleashed, it put a simulation aspect. These are rippers. Holy shit. This is my first ripper. Crazy. But yeah, Havoc and DMM and the different systems they had in the game allowed for some
One of the biker boys.
some simulation aspects in the game, and I just loved that. I thought that was really, really cool. And Days Gone, again, sort of, it's kind of a big end of the world sandbox, which I really appreciate. And as I understand it, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but as I understand it, the way this started was, again, understanding that they had this, that Ben Studio created this technology where they could have like 400 of these freakers, or 500 or 600, some crazy amount. I know it was at least 400 on the screen at once. That this was a new thing. No one had ever really achieved that. It's been in movies and stuff like that, but no one had done it in a video game like this. And they were trying to figure out, well, how do we leverage that for a game? You know, it's the same thing with like Hayden Blackman and Force Unleashed being like, okay, well, listen, we can leverage these two technologies to create kind of a force power simulator, you know? And it's funny because it's like it was one of those things. Force Unleashed, just to diverge because I always do in these Twitch streams. Force Unleashed was one of those things where maybe we didn't do as good of a job telling people what to expect from that game. Because I remember talking to some kid and he was like, "Oh yeah, Force Unleashed," and he really didn't like it. and I remember saying to him, I'm like, "Let me guess, you sabered your way just through the whole game. You just used your lightsaber the whole time." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Right, yeah, like Force Unleashed." And I get it because in Star Wars, that's what the Jedi do. They run around and they use their lightsaber. But in Force Unleashed, that is not actually the most fun way to play that game. That isn't really how you use what that game is giving you to the most fun extent. You have the most fun when you experiment with the Force powers. And that's how it was always designed. I remember someone said when we were working on it, like, "Hey, it's a ranged game. It's a Jedi thing, but it's a ranged game." And I remember thinking, like, I even said, it was like David Collins that told me this, and I said, "What do you mean a ranged game? It's your lightsaber." And he's like, "Well, yeah, the lightsaber's in it, but it's not really, it's not designed for that." And it was such a weird thought. But again, they were trying something very different, very, different for the franchise. So, believe me, even when I play Battlefront and I see people doing force repulses and stuff like that, and doing these force things that had not shown up in Star Wars media before we messed with them in the Force Unleashed, or seeing the Clone Wars and seeing certain force moves that were Starkiller moves, I was like, that feels good. We contributed. But the interesting thing is that you only ever really contribute to entertainment and media when you try to do something different. Is that Alkai? You named your car Starkiller. Alright, so where is there gas around here? That's what I'm here for, right? I was trying to get some gas. So there's a mechanic.
Hey, just taking a look.
Wonder, can I... upgrade bike parts?
Oh, you're out of gas.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go get my bike. That's embarrassing. Alright, refuel it. Good.
We're gonna run out of this someday, you know.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Miss Lily One. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. When people do these games, they have an idea of... Because I know that with this game, John Garvin and everyone, they want you to experiment. They want you to, like, mess with it and try to break the game, try to break the rules of the game. So, I think that this is a game that that sort of is asking its players to take a little time and, stop and smell the digital roses, as it were. Could I donate a Kylo Ren replica from Force Awakens to you? Replica of, like, the person? Is a replica of Kylo Ren? But first of all, I think you're saying something very kind. I just don't understand exactly what. And again, I apologize for not being able to keep up with the chat as well, especially when I'm driving a bike. I gotta get a better gas tank. Do you sometimes go, "I wish I did this line this way or that way"? Yes, it happens. I mean, that's that's kind of what it's like whenever you work at any of these things, is you rethink what you did, you question your original instincts, and as I was saying, was the other day on the stream when we were talking about this. This was a game where we were a Kylo Ren statue. Thank you so much. I would hold on to it because I right now am in a sort of reorganization of my house because I just did this renovation while I was gone largely for a year and have so much Star Wars stuff. I don't know where to put it right now. So I'm going to be responsible and say, hey, thank you so much. That's very, very kind. But yeah, we were experimenting with the tone of this game. And so, and then I think, as I recall, we went back. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the Crash Tones record. Thank you so much. If anyone, by the way, is curious about that, there are some links here on this Twitch page on how you can buy this Crash Tones record. Basically, it's this is a Ripper camp. What am I doing?
Say, John, you out there? Got a job for you here at the hot springs.
Doctor, okay, I'll head your way. St. John out.
Oh, great. What have I done? Come on. Uh-oh. Jeez. Oh, this is not good. Okay, what I was going to say is... I don't know what I was going to say. What was I saying? Boy. Yeah, you all... Okay, we were talking about second guessing. Got off topic on the Crash Tones thing. Oh, for anyone that's interested in the album, oh, thank you so much, Heaven Sent. Yeah, so what I'm doing is opening up the release is happening like a week and a half early for physical sales, before you virtually kind of give it away for free on Spotify and stuff. Oh, God. All right. Sure. Right. Go to sleep, pal. Yeah. Ain't nothing against digital, but like, you know, when I worked on this album, like the intention was that it would be heard on vinyl, and the CD, the reason behind doing a CD is like, that is about the closest to the original source that you can get. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Anyway, if you guys are interested in the Crash Tones record, there's a link here on Twitch that will take you to the page. Am I ready to take on a Ripper camp? I'm not sure about it. How does this one compare to... Thank you, Jack Fletcher. As always, you're my man. Jack Fletcher's putting up links on how to buy the Crash Tones record if you guys are interested. And oh, by the way, if you do want it digitally, on the vinyl link, the link for the vinyl Crash Tones record, you can also buy MP3s. So, there it is. And those MP3s actually sound pretty good. I listened to them. Oh, no problem.
Goddamn rippers. I am going to kill all of you.
Well, is there a Nero checkpoint in here? Oh, that's very, very kind. You know, here, I mean, again, the vinyl was, it's how I designed it. There ain't nothing wrong with listening to music digitally, you know, obviously. I do it all the time. It's just that, the way that digital works, it does not sound as good as the source, you know. I mean, look, like, CD is digital, but it's really, really good. It's you know, indistinguishable from the original. So yeah, again, nothing against the format of digital, but for me, if I love something, I want it. I want to own it. I don't want to have someone give me a license to play it on Spotify and then take that license away at some point, you know? that's not, and that's sort of how it works these days. When you buy something on a online store, you're not really getting that item. You're getting a license for that item, and that license can be revoked or modified. Any number of things can happen. So that was the reason that I put a primary focus on making some physical media, which might be a little old school of me, but then, guys, I'm really old. Very, very old. What's up, Loot Crate? What's happening? Loot Crate! Is that actually, guys, can you guys confirm, is that actually Loot Crate, the company that's, like, stopping in the chat room? Because if it is, come on, I want to do more commercials for you guys. That was ridiculous fun. The real one, the one and only. Guys, no joke, that Loot Crate commercial is probably one of the favorite things I've ever done. You guys were amazing. And Julian was an amazing director and had really fun ideas. And, when you guys got a hold of me, I really didn't know what I was getting into. But then when I showed up and talked to, Julian, and he told me what he was thinking, I was like, oh, thank God, this guy's funny. He gets it. He understands things. So, anyway. Oh, you bought the CD and then you bought it on iTunes. I'm so sorry, Nerd with the Cause. By the way, guys, far be it from me. Don't let me. I'm excited to experiment with the new Clone Wars Fantasy Flight books coming. I did the foreword for one of them, guys. So yes, I'm very excited. But hey, far be it from me to ever. I don't want to criticize how anyone decides to listen to music, and or obviously the digital is a very economical way to listen to music, because Spotify was a monthly charge or whatever. So it's just my taste. Don't listen to me. If you guys want to take advantage of the fact that there's a vast digital world out there and you can sample things all you want, that's pretty amazing. And it's pretty incredible that you can try things out before you decide to own them. Should you be one of those people? It's pretty cool. Any cons? Yes, there is, and I don't have the information in front of me, but there is a con I'm doing a little bit later this month here in California. So, that's coming soon. Oh, please link the Loot Crate commercial. Advertise to your heart's content on my channel. Oh, God. You tell your bosses at Loot Crate that I want to come back. Get me back! Oh my God. Alright. So this was a Nero checkpoint. I've got to find myself some... Dude, you got a record player just to listen to the album? That's really, really kind of you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I would love to know how it sounds on your player. Dude, if the commercial was awesome, it's because of the Loot Crate folks and Julian. I mean, they really knew what they were doing. They had a very strong vision for what it is that they wanted. I was just the schmo that walked around and said the lines. So. Oh, hi. Baby. Yeah, that's right. Take a load off, you idiot. Where is gasoline? I'm gonna need some gasoline. Do I prefer playing Starkiller or Darth Maul? Guys, that's tough. Starkiller was the sort of gateway into Lucasfilm for me. I guess Lucasfilm as a company was happy enough with what I did with that, or what I don't know, that they decided to throw me another gig by way of the Son of Mortis and the Clone Wars. And I guess because David was happy with that, he let me play Darth Maul. So, but without Starkiller, I wouldn't be able to do any of it. And in fact, again, there's a funny little Crash Tones link there. Starkiller started out because there was a big meeting at Lucasfilm where they were going to unveil for the company what this Darth Vader's secret apprentice character was going to look like. What kind of character they were going to create. And this young artist named Amy Beth Christensen created this concept for the character. And at the time, my friend David Collins was in that meeting, and he looked at the concept, this painting of Starkiller, which was, again, kind of a concept painting, so it didn't have a very specific face, but it had a facial type and a haircut type and all this stuff. And he took one look at the concept, which I have hanging on my wall over there in another room, and he said, "Oh my God, that looks like my friend Sam." And so I get this call, right? Like, I'm at my brother's rehearsal dinner for his wedding, and I get this urgent call from David going, "Dude, can you please step out for a second?" Of my brother's rehearsal meeting. Or a rehearsal, hold on for a second, stand by.
You sure he's all right?
This is Deacon. Boozer's fine.
Sorry, hold on for a second.
Doing runs for that son of a bitch, Mark Copeland, no doubt. I get the feeling he doesn't like me much. Boozer, I mean.
Like I said, I ain't his old lady. Deacon out.
So I'm at my brother's rehearsal dinner for his wedding. David summons me outside of the rehearsal dinner, and so I'm outside. I think we were at like the Union League Club in Chicago or something like that, or some restaurant in Chicago, but I think it was the Union League Club. And David goes, "Okay, so listen, man, can you send me your headshot and resume?" And I was like, "Well, what? Why?" And he's like, "Well, listen, man, Darth Vader has a secret apprentice." I'm like, whoa, wait, what? And he's like, never mind, I didn't say anything. Please don't say anything. I didn't say anything. No, I didn't say anything. And but send me your headshot and resume and your reel if you could. I'm like, okay. So I sent my headshot out and my reel and all this stuff. And then like a month or 2 or 3 later, got called in for an audition. And in that audition, they showed me the concept art for the character, and yeah, it looked a lot like me. Didn't have my specific facial features, but the type of character and the way that he was holding himself, and like the haircut was the same. And if you look at my headshot, you're like, that's a literal version of this Starkiller character that they've painted. And so then during the rehearsal, or not the rehearsal, the audition, there was this one scene we kept doing, and it was like a meditation scene. Starkiller's meditating, and he's sort of assembling and disassembling his lightsaber while he's meditating. And I played it very tense when he was doing that. And at one point, as I recall, Hayden Blackman was there. He says he saw it on tape, but someone, and maybe it was Hayden Blackman if he was there, I don't know. Someone said to me, they're like, "Wait, dude, he's meditating. Why are you playing it so tense?" And I said, "Well, but he's Sith trained. He doesn't know how to meditate. This is his best guess. He's forcing those pieces together. This is not what he knows how to do." And at that point, a bunch of people all looked at each other in the room, and I'm told that was the moment where they're like, "We're going to hire Sam to play Starkiller." And that script was awesome. Hayden Blackman wrote an incredible story about that character. And that was one of the happiest jobs I think I've ever had, where I was in consistently the best mood. Thank you, Jack Fletcher. That's my website. Created by Rex Remus himself, ladies and gentlemen. My Twitch streaming partner. But yeah, it was just like, it was just so exciting. And for me, I was like, well, this is I've wanted to work on Star Wars my entire life. Wait a second, I gotta get some gas and get into that Nero checkpoint. I can't leave until I do that. For me, I thought this is my chance to work on Star Wars. This will be my only chance to work on Star Wars, and I'm just so happy this happened at all, because the odds of my favorite thing ever, allowing me to play around, with Star Wars, like this is like childhood dream come true, and I thought that would be it. and I had no idea that Force Unleashed was going to lead to a, now it's been 12 years working. Is that right? Yeah, 12 years working with that company, doing various gigs. And none of it would have happened if Amy Beth Christensen hadn't made that painting and David Collins hadn't slipped my headshot in the pile. And the way that that's related to Crash Tones is Amy Beth Christensen is my artist in the Crash Tones. If you see the cover art, that's who you can thank. The person who created the first image of Starkiller is the person who came up with all of the art on my album. And by the way, if you're an art fan, you get a little bit more art with the CD because there are other pieces that we get to feature more in this 16-page booklet on the CD. So the vinyl is awesome and really features the art big and beautiful. But yeah. And speaking of Clone Wars, dude, there's another thing where I just, like, again, never ever thought it would happen that we would go back and make more Clone Wars. I mean, when that show was canceled, I think, what, in 2012? We were like, I was doing Being Human at the time, and I think Being Human was in its 4th season, so I was already starting to say goodbye to that, and then Clone Wars gets canceled. And like, it was just ridiculously sad, not just because this thing we loved was going away, but all the people that we knew that worked on it and put their heart and soul into that show, and who believed in it when, you know, that show was not always popular with the fans. That show, at first, people were really angrily against that show, and slowly but surely.
Well, 2 years ago, that would have gone splat.
And as the years wore on and Clone Wars got better and better, the fans turned, and they did an about face on their feeling about that show and its place in Star Wars. And right at the height of its power, when the show had never been better, it gets canceled. It was a depressing moment. I remember me and Collins were just so very sad about it. And if you were to tell me when that happened, like, hey, no, just sit tight, pal. You'll be back. I, like, never would have guessed. Never would have guessed. Save the Clone Wars, guys. Save the Clone Wars. And yet here we are working on some pretty spectacular stuff. I will tell you that one script in particular is like, it's like the best Clone Wars script. I just couldn't believe it when I read it. It was insane. And that one was written specifically by Dave Filoni. I honestly can't say enough good things about my friend Dave Filoni. You know, as much as, and it's funny because me and Dave, when we're working on this stuff, we often disagree. But the fact is, he's the boss, he's in charge, and he has a vision for this stuff. So I actually think our disagreements make Maul a better character, because he wrote it. He has the concept. Or back in the day, you know, when George Lucas had his ideas about Maul, they all knew exactly, kind of, they saw it in their head what they wanted. And I'd have a slightly different take on it. And I think the divergence in takes, even though I would do as I was told, you know, I'll obviously take direction. But what was interesting is he would have, and this is even recently as now, I would have an interpretation of the scene and what I thought it meant for the character. And he, having written it, would have a different interpretation of what that scene meant and what it meant for the character. So we have these two different interpretations, but we still liked the same takes. So, you know, like, I never have a lot of luck with Dave Filoni when I pitch things. Well, what if Darth Maul does this? And he goes, nah, man, no, that's stupid. And he might be right. But I weirdly have... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. God, what's in the box? Oh, God. Oh, God. Come on. Oh, bad doggy. Okay, so what was I saying? So, well, you're right. We'll have different interpretations of what the scene means or what's going on with the character, and yet we'll like the same takes. We'll both like. He's like, yeah, that one, that was good. I'm like, yeah, me too. I think it meant this. He's like, well, I think it meant that. Like, I think that means we did something the audience can now interpret, because ultimately the only interpretation that matters is the audience, what they think is going on with the character, what they think is going on in the story. And that's the fun part about Star Wars, is leaving room for interpretation. You know, it has to have that element. George was always very adamant that we not explain too much. You know, I remember asking all these questions about Mortis, and we would have these very specific discussions about Mortis and what George was trying to accomplish with the Mortis episodes. But we also kind of made an unspoken deal that we were not going to share what those conversations were later. We never actually said that to each other, but we kind of understood, like, no, George wants people to figure out for themselves what this means. He doesn't want to spell it out for anyone. So that's part of the magic, I think, of Star Wars. Everyone sees something a little bit different. You know, you'll find that many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. Or, you know, good as a point of view, Anakin. The Sith and the Jedi are similar in almost every way, including their quest for greater power. Where is gasoline? Maybe over here? Yes. Cap car. Anyway, speaking of interpretations, you know, I think this project was one where John, Garvin, and I think initially had a lot of disagreements about the character, and then after about working together for 9 months, we both saw it the same way, which, by the way, I think is very, you know, that's also another wonderful way to work. There's a lot of clarity when you and the director, who's also the writer, see the character in the same way. That helps that helps quite a bit. You know, it's some of these stories, you know, not all creative endeavors are created equal when it comes to what you are trying to achieve. And surely, of course, we want the audience to interpret this. I mean, look at the open world. The whole experience is an interpretive experience. However, John and I needed to be in lockstep about who Deacon St. John was and what hurt him, and, you know, him wrestling with sanity, really, in this weird, crazy world, and, you know, how much humanity he had at any given moment. How long am I going to stream? I'm not sure. I'm messing around. See, here I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I like my HDR, and yet I can't stream in HDR because I guess it looks funny on the stream. What? Oh, shit. Oh. Whoa, okay. Hi. That was kind of a blood-curdling scream, wasn't it?
You're gonna be okay. Hey, it's not safe out here in the shit. I know where there's a camp. Camp? Where? Show me. I'll go.
Oh, Crash Tones and Yoda. Oh, shit. So, Hot Springs, Copeland's encampment. Here's the thing. I don't have any influence yet with the Hot Springs, so I'm going to send him over there, even though I know that it's maybe not the nicest place. But I'm going to do it.
Go toward Three Finger Jack, find the Salome Hot Springs, talk to Alki Turner.
Osbelbet.
Oh, I was done for. Holy shit, you know? Thank you so much. Oh, man. Tell him it was Deacon St. John. I just keep running, stay off the road.
Now, I think that increases my influence at the Hot Springs. Boy. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I got to get on my bike and look around for gas. And then when I find it, head back to the checkpoint. I think that's my plan. Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. I mean, look, I guess I can't feel that bad because any place I send him is going to be better than where he's been. So that's good. What do I think of the detail that George Lucas had planned prior to going to Disney taking over, explaining the Force? I mean, look, honestly, that's my Force. George's interpretation of this stuff, which will inevitably be different than the post-Disney Star Wars. And that's okay, right? But George Lucas's take on all that stuff is the stuff that I learned because I learned from Dave. Dave learned from George. And Clone Wars was George's show, so we all got aligned with what his vision of Star Wars was, and what this meant, and what that meant, and how the Force worked, and stuff like that. All stuff that I can't tell you about. I mean, of course, I can tell you some of it. I'm being a dick. But the thing you got to remember is that for George Lucas, this was a personal Star Wars episodes 1 through 6 and the Clone Wars. This is a personal expression for him. This is him working things out and saying what he thinks about things through this wonderful fairy tale that he created. Now, if you guys want new Star Wars, if you want Star Wars to continue, it has to open up to other people's interpretation, right? And this is the thing that I always like to talk about on the stream. I'm going to stop the bike so we can have a nice little chat. We can all disagree with what we think it means, right? I think that George's Star Wars 1 through 6 and the Clone Wars is its own thing. And it will always be a self-contained own thing with a beginning, middle, and an end. And I really do believe it has an end. Return of the Jedi is the end. But in the same way that, like, I'm a huge Star Trek The Next Generation fan, I'm a huge Deep Space Nine fan, I appreciate Voyager, I liked Enterprise, but watching Discovery, I love the movies of Star Trek. You have to accept, like, for example, the Star Trek movies, some of my favorite things that have ever been done. Roddenberry wasn't largely in charge of Star Trek at that point. So you do have to open up the world a little bit to other people's viewpoints. So, it's like The Last Jedi or hate it, it's a different viewpoint on Star Wars, right? And I'm not necessarily a giant fan of that movie, but I do like it when people have its supporters, or when that movie has its supporters. I think that anything where people like something called Star Wars is good for Star Wars because it means they'll make more of it. And if they're going to make more of it, again, think of Star Trek. Think about Star Trek the motion picture. Not a lot of people, it's not their favorite Star Trek movie. A lot of people actually really hate that movie. But without Star Trek the motion picture, you never get Star Trek The Next Generation. And you never get Wrath of Khan, right? So my advice to fans is always sit tight, because around the corner, you may not agree with Rian Johnson's version of Star Wars, but what if you agree with, say, Dave Filoni's version of Star Wars, which is coming, in 2 separate forms called, The Mandalorian and called The Clone Wars. But what I think is the most important thing when it comes to Star Wars and Star Wars fans is that the central idea of Star Wars must always remain the same, which is basically don't be a jerk, right? Star Wars is a big fairy tale about don't be a jerk, be a good person. And if you've messed up, if you've made a mistake, make it right. Redeem yourself, And that's what I believe is the central cause of the entire thing. And so long as it's about that at its heart, then we can call it Star Wars. If it's not, then I don't know about that. And because that's the central idea of Star Wars, then as fans, we have every responsibility to be as civil to each other, especially in our disagreements, as we possibly can. Say if you hate The Last Jedi, don't go after someone that loves it. It's good that they love it. It's actually good for you that they love it, because it means they'll make more, and just around the corner or over the next hill will be a Star Wars that might speak very personally to you. Because again, more people are getting their hands on it now. It used to be just George Lucas's thing, so of course it was all going to be very consistent thematically. But now it's a lot of people's things. That's the nature of how these things go if you want them to continue. And it's a numbers game. It's like, I keep going back to Star Trek because it's a pretty good model for this stuff. Not all Star Trek is great, but more Star Trek than not is great. It really is. It's fantastic. So yeah. Sorry, don't mean to preach, guys. I'm getting real talky, but that's what happens on these Twitch streams. But yes, days gone, ladies and gentlemen. Driving the broken road, looking for zombies and hope. Get out of my way, box. What was I looking at, right? Yeah, well, here's the thing that I just experienced at Star Wars Celebration. What was so awesome was all of the positivity. if there are, people talk about, oh, Star Wars fans are the worst, and I'll tell you what, me and a lot of the people who work on Star Wars did not have that conclusion after Star Wars Celebration, because if there are fans who get really angry and are kind of hateful to people about stuff and kind of mean, or at the very least rude, they didn't show up to Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration was full of people who just loved being there, loved talking about Star Wars, and loved sharing that love with other fans. And I talked to plenty of people who were like, hey, what did you think of Last Jedi? And I'm like, well, it's not my favorite. And they're like, yeah, me neither. But, wow, that new trailer looks awesome with Rey jumping in the, they were just, everyone was just so enthusiastic. And if there was, some character that wasn't their favorite, like, let's say that you don't care for character A or character B, but then when you see a little boy or a little girl dressed as that character, you can't help but get excited about it, And also the fact that, like, for example, God, I'm sorry, Kelly Marie Tran got, huge applause and standing ovation. Ahmed Best finally got his due, coming in, Mr. Jar Jar Binks himself, showing up at his first Star Wars, was it his first Star Wars Celebration? It was his first in like 20. Come on. Oh, shit. Okay. That's not going to happen. Okay, hold on. Oh, God. Oh. Okay. So they're pretty good at this fighting thing. All right. Haven't had an enemy dodge yet. Yeah, you are, pal. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, God. Okay. This is not going as smoothly as I thought. Holy sh... Oh, God! Here I am talking about nice guy Star Wars fans, and then this happens? John Garvin, what the hell, man? This is not cool! Looking at these dogs, and they're, like, not impressed with me. Let's try that again. Yeah, look, Ahmed Best, you could tell he was a little apprehensive about showing up, but what was cool was the kids that grew up with that character are now 20 to 30 years old, because Phantom Menace is 20 years old. And he saw the love. He saw he saw some proper Star Wars love. So that was really, really cool. 20 years old, guys.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's interesting that Jar Jar in the Clone Wars really fits in quite well in the animated sort of, version. I'm not finding any gas. Are these rippers? No. Is there gas down here? Well, there's a gas station. Uh-oh! No. Yes, that gas can indicator might seem exactly that. Let's not get our hopes up here, guys. Been disappointed before.
You should look for fuel.
Oh, here we go. Did these things work? The pumps? I really want to go back to that Nero checkpoint. And it may involve going on foot. Oh, damn it. That's not what I meant to do.
Here we go. Good.
That good right there, I have to imagine I got that good. I think if I'm asking myself where that line read came from my subconscious, I think that's Val Kilmer in Willow. When he sees the when he's looking over the condition of the armor and weapons at Tira's lean. Good. That's my guess, anyway. It's funny when you look at that as an actor and you're like, that line read is familiar to me. What did I do there? And then you realize you unintentionally kind of gave a nod or a wink or an Easter egg to something that you love. Okay. Let's just... You're fine, kid. You're fine. Is this the first time I've actually had a chance to play it? No, the other night I had a chance to experiment quite a bit. Like I think I was telling everyone, there was a small horde around a Nero checkpoint, and me and my friends got to experiment with, like, can we get in there? And weirdly enough, we did. I was shocked. We had to be super clever and persistent, but it worked. I think that's it. Select checkpoint. Boom. Okay, good. And again, that's sort of... I love it when games allow you to do that, you know, to experiment and try to use the systems and the simulations, you know, the simulation aspects of the game to try to do something that maybe isn't totally programmed for, you know? Like, I definitely got the feeling that I was messing with the Nero checkpoint that I wasn't supposed to get into until later in the game. But that's what's rewarding about it, is figuring out ways to solve problems and stuff. Dude, Venom, thank you so much. And I will tell you, the team killed themselves on this. It's interesting. I mean, again, the more that I play this game, especially when I'm alone playing it, it's a little bit different when you stream it. But when I'm alone playing it, I'm taking it in more, and I'm taking my time more, and I'm looking at things, you know? And that's sort of how I like to play these things. I like to sort of pretend like I'm there. And that requires a little bit of buy-in, you know? And I think that if you try to rush your way through this game, you miss what the game's all about. It's, you know, designed to be this sort of experimental little zombie playground where you try, you know, not to mention that there's an emotional story which does require some patience and buy-in to start getting into. And these days, yeah, patience sometimes is a premium. What the hell are they? Oh, dude. Okay, there's more of them.
I follow
Carlos. Oh, hi. Shh. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Oh, fuck. My suppressor. Alright, and we learn these rippers are kind of tough. Burn! Oh, damn it. Okay, there's a lot of these guys. And they're coming around the back.
He will be brought low.
Yeah, get low!
Get in there. At last.
Whoa! Okay! Alright. Alright. Fine. Bring it on. How many more of these assholes? Come on. Scrap inventory. What about ammunition? Come on. Go to sleep, pal. Okay. Clever bastard. Come on, pick your head up. Whoa, okay. There's a... I'll take it. Freaker took him out. Fine. Let's go. Come on. Whoa, okay. Not good. Oh, God. Do I have any medical stuff? Now I do. Alright. We're gonna be fine, kids. We're gonna be just fine. Got this under control. God. Shut up! giving away my position, pal. Tell you what. Why don't we make this person?
No. You seek freedom.
Whoa! Okay. How about you? How you doing? Go to sleep, pal. Rest in peace. What the hell? Oh, God. Not cool.
Another bounty.
Did I mocap the roll? No, I don't think I did. But I did mocap quite a bit of this stuff. Not all of it. I mocap, like, everything you see in the scenes basically is me. And then there's also a lot of incidental stuff in the world that is also me. So, yeah, there's a lot. Obviously, it's mostly me. But I think I want to give credit to the stunt guys who were doing some crazy stunts and stuff like that as Deacon. I did do some of my own stunts on this as well. But yeah, gotta always credit your stunt performers. Damn it. For too many actors, you know what they do? They say, "Oh, I did all my own stunts," because they did like a stunt, or they did, a few stunts, but they didn't like fall off from on top of a roof, And so they're just kind of conveniently forgetting that someone did that for them and made them look cool. In the case of being human, I can make a very good claim to having done my own stunts because most of the time there wasn't a stunt guy on set. It was just me. So that, yeah. But I didn't fall down from the rafters or anything like that, which did happen on that show. Oh, but you're a whippet. Captain Tap Tap. Okay, what is going on? Oh, not good. Not good. No. You cannot be allowed to persist.
Yeah, not bad.
Now, where's the damn generator? Oh, yeah, thank you. Gamer was funny. That was fun. My buddies, Neville Dean and Taylor. Brian Taylor, one of the co-directors of that, has played some Crash Tones shows with me as a guitarist. Like basically, as I make no secret, Crash Tones is like my imaginary band. It's a solo project. But when it comes to playing it live, I actually do need to have people play those instruments, and Brian made himself available. And it's interesting. Brian Taylor is kind of, you hear about this guy and director, showrunner. People told me like, oh no, he's a genius. I'm like, oh, like he's really talented. Like no, like his IQ is off the charts. He's got an incredible mental facility. And when we were working on Crash Tone stuff for these shows, I learned what that meant because I'd never seen anyone learn my songs as fast as that guy. You'd show it to him once and he would get it down. It was incredible to watch. Really nice guy too. Just sent him a vinyl. And I hope he likes it. Busted. Oh, fuse.
Here we go.
Scrap? I have not.
Now we're in business.
I have not seen.
That's gonna bring them all down on me.
Screw it. I'll find that speaker and turn it off. I haven't seen Endgame yet. Again, it's been kind of nutty. Where? Where's it coming from? Where? Shit. Okay, that was a bad idea. Oh God. Okay, I gotta pay attention. Oh, God. Okay. This is not... What am I doing? It's going to keep drawing them there until I blow that thing up. Wonderful. Really nailing it. Really nailing it. Come on. Damn it. Shit. Okay. I'm going to die. Not being smart. Alright. Fine. Ah, shit. More than one.
There, there.
Oh! Stop, drop, and roll.
Yep, burn in hell.
Alright, fine. I gotta get away from that place. Wait till sunlight. Oh! Great. Come on, roll. No crafting material. What do I got? Machete's about to give out. Molotov's gone. Pipe bomb? 6 bullets. Yeah, guys, this is what happens when Sam doesn't really focus. Nope. Oh boy. It's not that he can't swim, he don't swim. Come on, come on. Yeah, I deserve that. I deserve it. I deserve it. Man. That was stupid. It was really dumb.
That's good. Great minds are good.
Oh, shit. Okay. Here we go. Well, first of all, that one up there. One more. One more. They're coming, but they're not here yet. Ah, good. Good. Uh-oh. Okay. Whoopsie daisy. Okay.
Finally. All right. Well, let's see what they got there.
Where is it? Where is it? Residue both. Come on, come on. It's okay, buddy. Oh, Leonard! Leonard! There's a lot of them. I really I mucked this up, guys. Damn it, I'm like drawing a full-on horde here. Where is it? Where is the damn... There it is. Come on. Isn't that it? Oh, great. That was a residue bolt. Good.
Come on, come on, come on.
Okay. Let's see if I can sneak down there. Where? Where? Hi, Leonard. Uh-oh. Okay.
Finally. Shut the hell up.
And now let's just hide, see if they clear out. So here's the thing, guys. Morphe, back me up on this. I'm a better player when I'm not streaming. Now, there's no way for Morphe to know that because, you know, he doesn't see me play when I'm not streaming. But the thing is, he knows. Jack knows. Come on, guys. Work with me here. I mean, are you not entertained? Was that not a little terrifying? Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Great. Would I ever get a motorcycle? I don't know. I mean... Oh, come on. Come on. Ah, dude, come on.
Father of a murdered wife, husband of a murdered child. This is my Russell Crowe impression from Gladiator. Father of a murdered wife, husband of a murdered child.
I have bad impressions, guys. You know what I want to do? I want to build up a Mel Gibson impression. You know, from like Mad Max. A few days ago I found what is it? Mad Max? A few days ago I ran across a truck that'll hold that tanker. You want to get out of here? Talk to me. Or like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Oh, Jesus, Roger, that's it. It's a Special Forces tattoo, Roger. Alright, here we go. Son of a bitch! Come on! Son of a... Close the door. That's right, come on! And then I'm gonna wait here with my crossbow. Oh, God! What's in the box? This ain't safe. Is that right? You want to talk... Deacon St. John originally sounded like this.
And he talked like this when he wanted to get threatening.
Dude, not cool. Close the... You gotta close the door, or they're gonna come in here and they're gonna eat my brains. That's right, a bunch of rippers out here protecting a Nero checkpoint. I'm gonna reach in here. I'm gonna get the good stuff, the juice. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna do my health. George Lucas.
Deacon at this point is finding himself in hot water with the freakers, and it was always intended that way, that the freakers be digital. And Deacon, in this scene particularly, his hair and his hat are digital, which we had to wait to do this video game. The hell was that? We had to wait till we had the technology to properly do Deacon's hair and beard. And so we, Days Gone was always going to be sometime, I knew it was sometime in the 2000s.
Wonder what happened here.
By the way, want to make it clear,
I'm here to relieve you.
when I do
Goddamn time.
George Lucas impression, that's like my hero. That is like my #1 hero of all time. That guy is so baller. How many of you people can, like, can say that you know what it's like to, like, make millions on a movie about a space wizard and a dude in a monkey suit and laser swords, and take all of those millions from your one shot at really making a big movie, and then take that money and then just fund the next movie. So if the next movie doesn't work, you lose everything. That guy was a maniac. That guy was, like, took risks that no one in Hollywood takes.
R.I.P. Rest in peace. They got some messiah who thinks all this shit is part of some plan. Where are they headed?
Alan Rickman as I'm walking. Oh God! Oh no, God! No, God! You've messed with Alan Rickman for the last time, Mr. Cowboy. Yeah. George Lucas is incredible. Not only a creative genius who just saw things very differently, but again, just such a risk taker. I don't have a Alex Jones impression, but I should get one. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The thing people don't think about is the Star Wars movies, past the original, are independent films. He made them by himself, which is unheard of. No one's done that, ever. No one's really done that since, in terms of making these big movies. Bane, Tom Hardy.
No one cared who I was until I took out the mask. Crashing this plane.
I don't know. Was that part of your plan?
Of course!
What's the rest part?
Crashing this plane.
By the way, that's another thing. Tom Hardy, that performance is great. Talk about risky. If you don't like it, I don't know if I like you. What is going on, dude? Gotta get into the Nero buildings. The Venom movie, I only saw like half of it, and hey, he was going for it. XCOM, of course, anything XCOM I'll be trying out. There is a full-on horde here, guys. This is not good. Things have gone horribly wrong. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Here's the thing, Shigundo. Let's say he was just doing a Sean Connery impression in a mask the whole time. Do you know the kind of balls it takes to do that when there's that kind of money riding on a project? Let's say that's what he was doing. It's the interesting thing, like when people think, like, oh, I can sing because I do it in the shower. Like, I can do voices. I do it for my friends and make them laugh. But, I will tell you right now, as someone who had to learn the voiceover trade, or the camera trade. The moment someone points a camera, and by the way, Shigoda, I'm not giving you crap, you're my boy. But the moment someone puts a camera in your face or a microphone in front of you, something happens to your brain and you can't do it the way that you think you should or the way that you think you can. You're immediately worse than you think you are. And in order to just go and tear things out and do stuff, I mean, I'll tell you, like, doing the Darth Maul voice for the first several times, terrifying. And not nearly as good as I'd like, sort of worked it up at home. Because the pressure of hurry up and wait, sitting around, and then suddenly, okay, we need it right now, go. And you have 3 takes at most if you're lucky. Probably you have 2 takes to get it right. Go. It's insane. You know, it's like one of those things in drama school, they never really tell you about that. I remember this drama teacher saying, like, okay, we got to really work hard on these rehearsals, guys, because, hey, look, if you, and he was like, not mocking a kid, but he was kind of giving the kid shit, and he was saying, hey, listen, man, if you were on a set, you'd have as many takes as you want to try to get right, but here in theater, you have to get it right when you go on stage, so we have to rehearse. And now that I'm working in film and TV, I wish I could go back in time and be like, actually, it's not like that at all. You have no rehearsal on the set, and then you were expected to get it in 1 or 2 takes, maybe 3 if they have time, but they probably don't have time. So no, I've never ever been in a project where it's like, you know, let's just keep rolling until we get that magic take. No! You're sitting around and you're, you know, and waiting, and then immediately they're like, okay, we're ready, go, cry, or do whatever you had to do, like, do it now, and do it in the next take or 2, or we're just never going to get it, and we're going to move on, and we'll just cut together what we can as best we can. It's a brutal, like, it's not easy. So, you know, so yeah, even if Tom Hardy was like, yeah, he was just messing around, be like, he messed around pretty well. It's pretty good. It's very hard to do, to sort of command yourself to do those things, you know, instantaneously. It's just very tough. Why isn't Being Human on season 4 on Blu-ray or DVD? Dude, my theory is that because there was a regime change over at the Sci-Fi Company when oh God, no, God, there was a regime change, and I don't think it was the new boss's priority, frankly. That they were like, we did it, we can always air it. I know that we were actually working on some behind-the-scenes stuff for the Blu-ray for season 4, but then it never materialized, which is sad. You know, I think they were saying with like waning physical sales and everything is streaming, that it would be better to just do the streaming thing. But I will tell you, oh, by the way, so again, for subscribers, come on, do it now. Yeah, if Schwarzenegger's directing you, come on, do it now. Do it in takes. Come on, you son of a bitch. If you're a fan of Being Human, I have this thing that if you subscribe, yeah, Jack is talking about it right now, Jack Fletcher. There's a thing called the subscriber folder. So if you subscribe to my channel, you get access to this subscriber folder. Jack can tell you how to get in there once you're a subscriber. And then what happens is there's like Being Human commentaries that were, by the way, supposed to be on the season 1 Blu-ray, but they just didn't put them on there for some reason. But me and Sam Huntington and Megan Rath and Kristen Hegger recorded commentary for every episode in season 1. And then Sammy and I recently recorded a commentary for just like a random season 4 episode, and I threw it in the subfolder. I know we're going to do more, but there's all kinds of weird, crazy stuff in the subfolder. So, you know, old music tracks of mine in high school and like pictures from sets and stuff like that. So, yeah, anyway, so there's some neat subscriber perks. There's a Crash Tones album there's a Crash Tones song from the new album in the subscriber folder. What is it? Is it weird to cry and generally a lighting guy is staring at his watch? So here's the thing. Anyone working behind the camera is not supposed to do that kind of thing when actors are working. And the reason for that is that it's we all want to go home. You know, the reason for that is everyone wants to like get the scene and go home, and everyone wants to get the scene good. So basically, you need to facilitate the actor and put them create a situation in which the actor can perform, right? So when you hear that Christian Bale thing of like, I want you off the set, you prick. Oh, good. You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy, but professionally, we are done professionally. You know, like that whole thing. The word that I heard about that situation is that this lighting guy kept changing lights and doing stuff while Christian Bale was trying to concentrate and deliver a scene. And while I think Christian Bale went overboard, that guy shouldn't have been doing that. Like, whoa. So again, you know, it's a situation where, and by the way, I'd heard from someone who worked with that guy that Christian Bale screamed at. He's like, look, Christian Bale shouldn't have done that, but that guy had it coming. So it's like, and again, just to make it clear, I am not saying that that was the right way to handle it, but I am saying that what that guy was doing was wrong, right? What Christian Bale probably should have done is just been like, hey, seriously, we got to stop this. This has been happening the entire shoot. I'm getting really sick of this. I am not able to perform with people in my eye line while I'm trying to pretend this scene is real, yet there's people behind the camera just walking around and guys moving lights and doing all kinds of stuff that's really distracting while I'm trying to have this emotional moment. So... yeah. That's right. So anyway, it's a weird world, the entertainment industry. Yeah, that was on the set of Terminator, I believe. If you could name 3 actors or actresses you'd love to work with, who would it be and why? You know, I have a hard time with that stuff, especially when I'm on the stream concentrating on survival. But I worked with David Strathairn. I would love to work with him again. He was speaking of an actor whose behavior was only ever incredible. Like, that guy was an incredible example to everyone on set of what's the proper way to behave and how to behave with class as an actor. Really classy guy. And oh, nah, God. What's in the box? Okay, good. Anyway, yeah. Winona Ryder, I remember seeing her at someone's birthday party a few years back and just being like, my God, that woman doesn't age. What is my diet like? Sometimes bad, sometimes good. Or something. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, great. Come on. Uh-oh. I like that you can miss in some of these. This is kind of cool. It's awesome. I got to get on my bike and get back to where I was headed. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, at most of the stream I've now been playing, I was way off the beaten path, not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's kind of how I like to play these games. No, 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 more of them. It's a movie that you can watch over and over again and never get tired of. Star Wars. I have a guilty pleasure movie. That's Karate Kid 3. By the way, if you guys aren't watching Cobra Kai, please watch Cobra Kai. That show is amazing. And if you haven't seen Karate Kid, which, you know, maybe you haven't, see Karate Kid, then watch Cobra Kai, because it's just, oh my God, I love those guys for doing that. And Billy Zabka. I don't know why I'm calling him Billy Zabka. I don't know the guy, but, like, he's tremendous in the show. He's so good. Is this... Oh, this is where... This is Crazy Willie's, isn't it? Or not Crazy Willie's. Or what's the place where Boozer got burned? Interesting. I gotta start learning this map. Karate Kid... It's funny because me and my friends, we will watch bad movies and make fun of them. That's like one of our favorite things to do. And so we were like, hey, you know, we were watching some really, you know, I think we were watching like Just One of the Guys and stuff like that, and, you know, Can't Buy Me Love and these old like sort of teen 80s movies. And so at some point we're like, hey, let's watch Karate Kid. I'll bet it's terrible. Yeah, yeah. So we like got Karate Kid and we started making jokes. And it wasn't long until we all just shut up and watched the movie because we were like, wait a second, this is way better than I remember it. And then we watched it and it was honestly like, oh, and then we started looking up things in the movie like, oh, that's right, Pat Morita got an Academy Award nomination for this. This was a big deal. Oh, okay, yeah, this was for one of the first times ever we had a serious movie night where we didn't make fun of stuff and we just watched a movie. And it blew us away. It was so, so good. Karate Kid was so good. Not the Will Smith version, guys, or the Jaden Smith. You know, bless them for trying, but it's not the same thing, guys. You're not healing to 100%. It's stressing me out. All right. You're right. But I don't have any. I got this. I need a med kit, and then I'm going to use it. Come on, son of a bitch. There, I did it. You see? And now I'm like totally 100%, and you can go to sleep. All right? That's right. Come on. Here. What's another guilty pleasure? Any Schwarzenegger film. And I don't even know how guilty I am about it. I think not at all, if I'm going to be honest. I think that I get so much... What was he doing? I'm sorry for the people that saw the other stream, but he's doing this thing on Instagram where he's like, alright, I'm going to tell you how Arnold Schwarzenegger puts up together. I just had a workout, and it's time to put together my protein shake. So what do? I take some cherry juice and pour it in there, and then I take some whey protein, vanilla whey protein, put it in there. But the question is this: how do you get all this protein directly into the bloodstream as quickly as possible? You're right. Schnapps. You're right. Be like, what do you mean I'm right? I didn't say anything. Schnapps. Yeah. That's right. You're right. Right again. That's right. There was this one in, if you guys haven't seen Pumping Iron, which Arnold Schwarzenegger claims, and he could be right here, that he was kind of playing a fictional version of himself, like hamming things up for the camera, which people have done in documentaries. But as one of these... It's made it into me and my friend's vernacular. He has this moment where he talks about his posing routine. That's right. And the thing is, my posing routine, it's perfect. It could not be more perfect. It's down to a point. Wait when you see it. Wait when you see it. When you see it, just wait. It's down to a point. Wait when you see it. Sorry, buddy. Hi, puppy. Oh, you're so good. I got dogs all over me. Yeah, that's right. It's down to a point. The way that I play this game, for example, is it's down to a point. It's perfect. The way I play this game could not be more perfect. Wait when you see it. My buddy Glenn Howerton, who, by the way, if you're a fan of Always Sunny in Philadelphia or AP Bio, he does some work on the Crash Tones album. So if you want to hear him record scratch with his mouth, he goes on a song called "It Came from a Man's World." But Glenn, and again, I am congratulating myself. He said your Schwarzenegger. This is him talking to me. He's like, your Schwarzenegger was always good, but it really took off the moment you started getting more smug. The moment you started. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Sly, how are you? Yeah. How are your movies doing? Because there's only one number one at the box office, and I think you're not it. I think you're number 3 or something. Yeah. Crazy how things happen, right? Rocky and all that, and then and it's like, that was great. It was like my favorite movie until I started making movies. And then that was my favorite movie. Terminator, that's right. Yeah, you guessed it. Sly, Rocky. That was my favorite movie. Until I started making movies. You're right. Oh, that fucking guy. Oh! Vin Diesel. I haven't heard enough of Vin Diesel to know how he talks, but I know it's something like this. It kind of talks like this. It gets it out there. It's like this. Something like that, right? Wolf! What's it about dark characters that I enjoy portraying? You know, here's the... I don't know. It's always a challenge to take characters that have been through stuff and try to make them a little bit funny and a little bit likable while they're kind of bastards. I mean, Deacon starts out kind of a bastard, right? So to kind of believably move him from bastard to someone who, you know, people might actually follow into anything is kind of an interesting challenge. But also, you know, honestly, guys, I think I just get cast in it because I have this Cro-Magnon brow and people meet me and I don't, this is my theory, I don't really look normal. Does that make any sense? Like, I'm not what I mean by that is like, I don't know. Like, I remember when I was like taking some classes in Chicago, acting classes, and they were like, "You're gonna get cast ethnic a lot." And I'm like, "What is that? What does that mean?" I'm like, I'm basically a white guy. I'm whoa! I'm a quarter Basque, so that's not as white, but I'm basically a white guy. But whatever genetic mutations resulted in my face, I think it makes it hard for people to think of me as just like your neighbor next door, which is unfortunate. I would love to do neighbor next door, or like, but I think it's all these, this Cro-Magnon caveman brow or something. I don't know what it is. Are any of the songs in the Crash Zones about me? I think in a way they're all about me, but then they're also, again, they're kind of, they're fictionalized stories. There might be like a hint of truth here and there or something like that. But I'm not sure if they're like, it's that whole thing. If my songs particularly were autobiographical, guys, I would like run for the hills the moment you heard a song like "Gentleman Caller" from the first album, because some pretty nutty stuff. I'm going to burn the nests. That's right. Come on. Is there some nest residue in here? That would be cool. There it is. Yeah, you're right. Schnapps. I was, King of the Robots is actually a very meaningful song for me. Funny enough, I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's hidden in the lyrics. It's actually a little bit more vulnerable than people would think. I know it sounds funny because it's such a kind of fun, upbeat, funny song. But I don't know. Like my songs are there's a heavy dose of satire in many of them, and yeah, and a dark sense of humor, I guess. I remember some guy just lambasting me for my music. He was like, yeah, like reading back some of my lyrics and telling me what a horrible person I was. Well, actually, let me be accurate about this. He only said some of this, very little of this to my face. He said a lot of it to a friend of mine. And what was funny is this guy was like, he cheated on his girlfriend left and right. He was this real, just sanctimonious piece of shit. But it was funny to me that, because he was a songwriter and like a successful one, but he couldn't conceive of a song not being autobiographical. I'm like, really? So like, really? That's all you can write songs about? You can't make stories up or anything? Okay. If you say so. Mr. Leonard, are you a good dog? Are you handsome? Mr. Boots. Hello, Captain Tap Tap. Alright, let's burn out some nests. Yeah, you're right. Schnapps. Whoa! Okay. Okay. But guys, listen, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. So let's talk about this. Oh God. No! Come on, Deke. Can he not run with the... Okay, here we go. Oh! Oh no. Think with your head, Deacon. Me and Hayden Christensen have very... Yeah. And he's Darth Vader, right? So, what does that say about me, guys? Oh! Here. So this burning out the nest thing, I really thought it was a great idea. Alright, come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. 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 Stamina's going down. I mean, it's not going as planned, guys, is what I'm saying. Oh, man. Oh, God! Is Deacon St. John the furthest I've gone as an actor? The junky characteristics of Aiden. Oh, you know, God, I don't know. I think probably the junky stuff in it. I mean, being human was hard. And I loved that it was hard. I loved that there was nothing easy about that role. This was tough, though, too. Because John Garvin really wanted authenticity. So I'm like, okay, well, this guy is not sane. He can't be. You know, like, you can't think about this guy as like a rational human being. Look at the world he lives in. You know, it's not... Oh! Okay. Ah! Yeah, I don't know. I think... Jack, thank you so much. And by the way, any new subs, I can't, on this interface, I can't see when you guys sub, so welcome to the team. I love you, but I don't know who you are just yet, and I will. Come on, come on. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's keep burning out Ness, I guess. What's with the... Sorry, I missed the question. Alright. Alright, what percentage? 10%. Not worth it. I'm gonna jog a mile. What's up, sub? Nikita? You get a capture card so you can use your computer setup. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I do have a capture card. It's just that my PlayStation is in a different room in the house. Rebel Force Radio, I mean, again, you know, it was brought to my attention very kindly from Lucasfilm that they would rather I not do commentaries and stuff on stuff that I worked on. And they're right. They're like, look, what is that? Nice stamina cocktail. You know, we were going to do like a Mortis commentary over and stuff like that, and yeah, it's just not appropriate for me to do that anymore. Now that I've done enough work with Lucasfilm to where it's just not really appropriate that I just go off and do stuff and provide content for people who aren't Lucasfilm when it comes to Star Wars. It's their property, you know, and I need to respect that. It's the same thing with the Schmodown guys. Like, yeah, like I did that 4 times. They asked me to come on, I came on 4 times. They asked me 4 times, I did it 4 times. I wish they would stop being like, yeah, we're trying to get Sam on, or whatever they're saying, because it's like, guys, I don't work for you, I work for Lucasfilm. I can't keep doing this. You know, we'll just do it once more. But like, right, but then if I win, then I have to do it again? Do I have to defend... like, I'm not a trivia guy. Like, you guys have your trivia guys. Like, they're great. They know their stuff. I'm just a guy who works in the entertainment industry. That's all. Let's use some of these Molotovs. Okay. And again, not to say like, and it's different. I really enjoy what the Collider folks do. I just don't know if they totally get that it's not really that appropriate to come on and do those things all the time. You know, it's not respecting my relationship with Lucasfilm. You know, and Lucasfilm, by the way, just so you guys are aware, they're very sweet about this stuff. They don't go, you can't do this. They just kind of suggest in a friendly way what their priorities are. And again, like, I've definitely taken liberties with their property, for sure. And Freddie and I are going to take a few more liberties coming up, but it's calculated. Oh, God.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, and see, and that's the thing. Like, Lucasfilm loves that these guys do it, but you know, it's on me to make sure that that stuff doesn't go too far, and that's sort of how that's sort of how they make it known. They're like, it's really up to you. All of this stuff is up to you. To which and that's not even code. They're not threatening me or anything like that. Possible bit! 100% possible bit. That's not code or anything. They're really very nice people. But, I want to respect what I have going on with them. So, what is that? Juices? But it's a juice. Yeah, no, dude, and here's the thing. I think the Schmodown is awesome. I think it's totally awesome. I don't think I'm not terribly great at it, as you guys have seen. But and I also, the part is, it's just like stressful and, it's just a weird thing. It's not my thing. They asked me to come on, and so I did 4 times. I wish they wouldn't act like I owe them something. That would be nice. I feel like I did them a favor 4 times. Alright, here we go. Is it juices? Yes. Juices. That's great. Wow, these nests are awful. It's terrible. Okay. You know what's funny in terms of the choice stuff? I don't know really much about that, but I can tell you that that Deacon, early on when we were creating the character, boy, there was a version they could have put together of this game where he was a giant bastard in the beginning. There was some stuff cut out where Deacon was really, really, really awful. Really, dead inside, total selfish, dead inside bounty hunter bastard. And Garvin pulled back on some of that stuff, based on I think player feedback. I think we had gone too far, but that's what the editorial process is for, right? You try things out, you see how the people who are testing the game feel about it, and then you make adjustments. So now it's just like, Deacon's kind of a lukewarm bastard, starting in the game, and then he changes as time goes on in terms of his attitudes about stuff. Am I sad that Days Gone is over? I gotta be honest, I'm too excited that it's out, because it's like I've been working on this for so long. Is Tem Morrison an influence on Deacon? Not consciously, but come on, it's Tem. So he's an influence on everyone, all the time. It's right, because you're going to get out there with the super possible bit, and you're going to go with some brow, so you're going to hit hard, bro. You're going to hit hard, like a merry warrior, bro. That guy's a tremendous actor, by the way. What was I saying? Damn it, guys, you're derailing me. Being excited about the game being out. Like, when you work on something for this long, and I've been with the project for almost 4 years, you almost forget it's ever going to come out. You're like, oh, they're calling you in for another voiceover thing. You're like, yeah, okay, well that's how this exists in my life. I go and I do stuff, and that's that, and that's how it's always going to be. And it's never going to be anything different than I go in and do a shoot or do a voiceover session or whatever. The end. That's how it goes. And then they were like, oh, it's coming out. I'd be like, it's coming out? What? What's coming out? The game? People are going to see the thing that I worked on for 4 years? Wow, I'd almost forgotten that was even an option. It's been so long. And it's interesting, in terms of the amount of stuff that we shot. It's like we shot a mini-series or a British series worth of material. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of story. 6 hours of cinematics. It's like insane. Shout out to my home. Yeah, New Zealand, man. Our first on superheroes from New Zealand. And I apologize for completely mulching your dialect there. I do not claim that I can do that well, but I did do it. I did it terribly, and now we have to live with that. But you know what? Let me tell you something. My New Zealand Tamara Morrison dialect, it's down to a point. Yeah. Wait when you see it. Sorry guys, couldn't. Sonic! I didn't know there was a Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out. What's the biggest thing I've ever had to turn down for any reason? Listen, I got offered more money than I'd ever conceived of. Not $1 million before you guys go, Sam's a millionaire. He's not. But it wasn't $1 million. But it was a lot of money. And it was going to be a lot of money for 2 or 3 months of my time. And you guys can see it right now in terms of the trailer. Look up the movie, The China Salesman. And I'm just going to leave it there. Dude, yeah! Get the CD! Get the... Again, the reason I felt that those two formats were important is the vinyl is the way that I mixed the album, produced the album. I wanted it to sound very, very, totally analog, old school. And my music is like 60s and 70s rhythm section, 90s guitar, 80s keyboards, but there's a lot of 60s and 70s influences in that. And I used a lot of analog technology and analog simulators to give you that flavor of like something that was recorded a long time ago, stuff like that. So, and I was always expecting that it was going to be like played on a vinyl disc, on a record. Here, let me pull it out so I can show and tell while I talk about it. So I expected that this was going to be a vinyl, and I'm a vinyl collector, and so yeah, like I always wanted to do that. But the CD is cool, and I don't have this. Where's the CD? It's around here somewhere. Ugh, sexy. Yes. The CD is cool because it really gives you a listen to what I actually recorded. The CD is like literally what I recorded, and then the vinyl is sort of a slightly romanticized analog version of what I did. But the CD is literally what I did, which is what I think is cool about that. And the CD was an opportunity to... Whoa! Hey! Oh, this world's coming for me. This sucks. Tell you what. How's that? Is that cool? Is that what you wanted, though? You blew my cover! They kill you all! You son of a bitch! Yeah, that's right! Come on! That's right! Come on! Shit! Shit! Okay, I gotta take this seriously, guys. Ambush. Cool. How cool is that? Yeah? Cover what? Cover what? Oh, buddy, are you okay? Yeah. He's dead tired. That's right. Yeah, there's something really sexy about vinyl. And guys, dude, I gotta tell you about this. The over at Bernie Gruneman Mastering, the actual vinyl lathe that cuts the grooves into the disc. Seeing that machine, this big thing, like looks like 2 Xerox copiers in length. This huge console on a bed of compressed air, like so if you push down on it, it goes shh, shh, because of vibration. It needs to have no extraneous vibration, otherwise it's going to destroy the disc that it's cutting. And it's like a combination of like 40s technology, 70s technology, 80s technology, and then modern computers hooked into it. It was like this big Frankenstein monster of a machine. Seeing that and seeing it cut the grooves out of a vinyl, out of a big chunk, this lathe, was incredible. Like, so fun. This old technology that is that's coming back. Like, I guess in 2008 they sold something like 900,000 vinyl across the industry. In 2018 they sold 19 million. So that format is coming back. And then CD is still completely alive and well. And again, it was an opportunity. The CD was an opportunity to give you literally what I recorded and produced, but also more art. There's a little bit more art in there, and a nice lyric booklet and stuff. So they're different presentations, but they're both the same album. I always have appreciated CD for being just the most true format. You know, like when everyone's like listening to, you know, MP3s and iTunes, Apple Music, all that stuff, and that's all great, and it all at this point sounds really good, but it doesn't sound as good as CD. And that's the interesting thing, is like we've taken a step back quality-wise. It does not sound as good as CD. And the thing that I was really impressed with the vinyl process was learning that the actual format itself, vinyl, depending on the equipment you play it on, it sounds amazing. Like, it's a really great sounding. It was never a bad sounding format. I guess I always assumed, vinyl is just kind of crackly and not that great, but it's cool, it's romantic, it's cool. It's like, no. If you get like a really good turntable and a really good cartridge and stylus and needle and all that, it sounds unbelievable. It's basically approaches CD quality. So, and it surely sounds better than MP3. Now, this is the one that we went into, right? Like, we got into this one. Yeah, because it blew off the thing, so I remember this.
That's right. That's right. For all this trouble, it better be like a protein shake. And you're right, schnapps. Yeah.
Soundtrack for Days Gone is coming on vinyl, guys. So if you guys are buying record players, buy it for two things. And let me tell you what. Buy it for the Days Gone soundtrack, but also buy it for the Crash Tones. Look at all these Crash Tones children. Look at them. Starving babies. You need to feed them. So anyway, yeah, if you guys are interested in checking out this record that I keep incessantly talking about, the link is here on the Twitch page, and Jack Fletcher and Morphe keep putting the link out in front of you because they are my sidekicks. I don't even want to say sidekicks. You guys are like the facilitators. You guys are the gatekeepers. I think I'm your sidekick. And the least I could do is... Whoa.
It's just another bounty job, isn't it?
Now, look, I don't care. I just want to know their names. Who, Cope?
One of them was a man named Randall. Been with the camp almost a year. I didn't know the other two. You want me to ask?
No, guess not.
You find that son of a bitch. Radio me. Copeland out.
So, guys, you want to know another piece of interesting Days Gone trivia? And this is a part of a peek into the development process. We did all of these conversations in 2 takes, or 2 ways. Not 2 takes. We did many takes, but we did 2 different versions. Leonard, what are you doing? Come here, boy. We did it at what we called bike volume, which is yelling over the engine of the bike, because we're like, motorcycles are loud, man. So dig it, whatever. Like, Copeland, tell me about this and that. And then we also did it, oh my god. And then we also did it at speaking volume, which you just heard, right? So the interesting thing was, it was intended to be that anytime you're on the bike, Deacon is yelling over the bike engine. And by the way, I mulched my voice doing this day in, day out. It'd be like, okay, we got a conversation to record, right? Or there would be lots of conversations we record in each session. But we would go through, and we would do the on-foot version, which is what you just heard, where he's just speaking his way through the scene. And then we would do the bike version, where I'm yelling. So every day in the voiceover booth, I'd be like, all right, Cope, yeah, where's that guy that was coming after me? And then there was another version. All right, Cope, where's the guy that's coming after me? And utterly destroy my voice. And John Garvin then told me as they were testing the game, they're like, you know, we realized it works just fine. The talking version works just fine on bike or on foot. It works fine in both ways. We don't need the loud version. And I was quite relieved, because it means if we ever go back to this, we will not have to destroy my voice for years at a time. So yeah, that was an interesting little thing. There are some scenes, I think, when Deacon is like, when he feels like he has to yell at someone who's on the bike, you get some of that, and it's appropriate. But it's, you know, a little bit of a, what do you call it? Sort of a creative license, creative conceit that you'd be able to hear this guy. Wow. Jesus. Christos. What? Where am I right now? What's going on with this? Alright. Whoa, what the hell is this? This is a game, again, you gotta take your time with it. Otherwise, it's just, you know, if you rush your way through it, I don't think you're going to get what you could get out of it. It's the experimentation and trying to get, you know, trying to make things happen that weren't necessarily, you know, the most obvious solutions to the problems. That's what I like to do anyway. Alright, can we get to Cope's camp without running out of gas? Let's see what happens. Oh, that's the truck that me and Boozer pushed off the road. Correct. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cool. Thank you, Jack. Guys, give a hand to Jack Fletcher and Morphe, our stalwart mods, making things happen on the broken road. Which is great because, you know, I'll tell you what, in real life, I don't like to get wet. Oh, God!
Okay, this is it. Yeah, oh, this camp is gonna be crawling.
Yeah, nah, you gotta leave the bike out here, Deke, or it'll pull all of them down on you.
Okay. What are we looking at here? What's going on here? Dude, yeah, Jack Fletcher. I gotta be honest. Like, let's talk about Jack Fletcher here for a second. I honestly don't know where you got an interest in my stream, brother. But he's been here since the beginning, since I started streaming, and has kept me very safe and advised me, and, you know, kind of explained things to me from this streaming thing, and has made this entirely painless. For me, in terms of the streaming experience. So, if you guys see me streaming, it's largely because of Jack, and then Morphe later jumping in and doing the same thing. Just like, you know, these gentlemen taking care of things that I just don't really know how to do. So I'm sure there are, you know, there are all kinds of dangers and strangeness that can happen, and I've seen it in other people's streams that just don't happen in my stream because my mods are, like, incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel like thanking my mods, do it now! Come on! Do it! You son of a bitch! They're here! Do it! Do it! Kill them! I'm here! No, don't kill them. Don't kill them. Let them live. Let them live. Okay, so this is an infesting zone, I think. Okay, there's some nests. Tell you what, why don't we, like, secretly burn out the nest and then hide? And then hide. Mr. Hard. Okay, here we go.
Alright. Fire in the hole. How'd you like that? Huh? Come on, you sons of bitches, come on!
One mess down, but they don't know where I am. 6 nests? Yeah, it was a yeah. This, I mean, it's so interesting. Like, people ask me, like, why do you stream? I honestly, and I have no answer for them. I mean, I think Chuck and I talk about how we do like having this open communication with people and, like, you know, having...
One nest done. How many more you got?
Super possible bit! Super possible bit! Yes, that's right. Come on, do it.
you know, me and Chuck's streams together are kind of like a badly organized radio show, which we have no expectation that we're going to do anything anywhere close to acceptable in terms of what people are really doing out there with their streams. Which, by the way, I mean, it's so interesting, right? Like, social media, I think we're not... There's a real dark side of that, and civility becomes strained, and people start getting very hostile, and it's a really unfortunate thing that can happen. On the other hand, there's like YouTube channels like Techmoan and Trek Actually, and people who are like really putting together quite excellent content, like real honest-to-goodness TV shows about interesting topics that you would never see on TV. And again, streams that are, you know, people putting some really thoughtful, cool, awesome Twitch streams together. And I think the reason Chuck and I are doing this because we're fascinated by that expression. We're fascinated by that process. So I don't know. Okay. No, but it's not I don't want a cocktail, I want a bandage. I want a band-aid, come on! The Last of Us Part 2, I will most certainly play The Last of Us Part 2. I thought the first one was just tremendous. Really awesome. It's interesting, though.
Yeah, it looks like the kind of place you want to call home, yeah.
It's interesting, the difference between something like this and Last of Us is such a focused story experience, whereas this is way more of a go and have your own experience. There's a little bit of a sandbox here, you know? And that's always been kind of my... Oh, goodness, go to sleep. It's right. Butter up, you idiot. And I've always kind of... I like both of them. I mean, I obviously, as a film and TV actor, like, scripted narrative experiences... Oh, God! Oh, I could have cut his throat. Scripted narrative experiences obviously appeal to me because, you know, it's a beginning, middle, and end. Very, very well drawn out. There's always unpredictability when it comes to video games. And they did it about as well as they could possibly do it for a tightly linear game like The Last of Us. This is different, where they try to create this thing where you're living in this world and you're doing unpredictable stuff. And there's just more things that can kind of happen, both good and bad. So I'll just leave it there. Different kind of games. There it is. That's a nest, right?
Getting kind of cool out here. Thought I'd help you out.
Alright, that's 2. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, jeez! Alright. Oh, you know, I should make more residue bolts, shouldn't I? And I don't have any wood. There's no wood.
Okay, gotta be careful, gotta be careful.
Okay. Melee weapon. Oh, that's another nest right here. Okay, good. Good.
It'll warm you up.
Wow, they sound angry. Oh, God. Oh, nah! Nah! Oh, God! Alright, how are we gonna deal with this? Yeah, this rifle ain't fast enough. But it's powerful. Up! Okay. Alright, wait a second. Let's think like that original demo, right? Come on. Come get it. Come on, come on, come on! Whoa. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
There we go.
There's gotta be a nest in this shack.
Alright. Oh! Hi, ma'am. Oh, God! Okay. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. No problem, guys. Wow. It's bizarre, guys, because I feel like in a weird way on the mocap stage I lived in this world, right, and learned all about it, and Jesus, what the? Not all right.
Jesus Christ!
Okay. Didn't know that there was any. Give me your cleaver.
I'll take that.
Thank you. It's so weird to actually be in the world of Days Gone, you know, because I've been imagining it for so long and hearing about all these places, but now I'm actually running around in it. It's very, very weird, because I feel some closeness to these themes and these characters and stuff like that, but I haven't been here yet. I haven't been in the world. So it's very strange. Very cool. And yeah, we got a marauder. Alright. More nests. We got a cleaver. It's fine. Marauders, man. Big difference being on a set that you can see. Oh, God, yes. Yes, absolutely. There's a couple of scenes I've seen in here where, I will be honest, I wish we could do it again, because I'm like, oh, I did not know it was going to look like that. You know what I mean? I didn't know that that was quite what I was reacting to, and I don't think that I gave a big enough reaction to a couple things. And I'm not going to call out what, because that's just, you know, going to make me look bad. But, you know, there was no way to know. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know at the time. We made our best guess. And that is the key to any creative project, is you're always making only your best guess. And for the audience, it's interesting because you guys, you know, might seem obvious, like, why didn't they do this? Or when you see a movie, you're like, it's so weird that they made this choice when they should have made that choice. And let me just tell you, when the special effects are in, and the music is in, and the editing is tight, and everything is in front of you, it's very clear what it's supposed to be. And if it falls short in any way, be it a movie, TV show, video game, if it falls short in any way, then the audience thinks they're so smart for being like, well, they should have done this. But when you're making it, none of those answers are readily available to you, because you're making your best guess. You're wandering around in the dark with a flashlight. And the most talented people that I know make more right guesses than wrong guesses. But everyone's wrong sooner, you know, at some point. Like I said, like I see a couple things in here where I'm like, oh, yeah, I should have played it like this, and I played it like that. And it's just part of the process. You have to kind of forgive yourself for that. Okay, kids. It's the same thing, by the way, with music. You know, when I was writing the songs, the most painful part of the Crash Tones record, guys, was finishing writing the songs. Like, well, I think I told you guys earlier in the stream that the songs, I started writing them when we were, I started writing some of them, like Hollywood Fever. I started writing that shortly after Colorful of the Stereo, the first record, which was 14 years ago. So that was around forever. But a lot of these songs, started writing them when we were kind of finishing up being human. And so they were kind of inspired by those feelings. And it was like, you know, the record was like a back burner project, and whenever I'd have time and downtime from work, I would work on it. But I suddenly realized about 2 years ago that if I didn't make it a front burner project, this album was never ever going to come out. And that also, it was frankly fear that was holding me off from making it a front burner project. Because the thing is a half-completed song, or a half-completed book, or a half-completed script, or a book of poetry that you never show it to anyone, you can always fiddle with it. You can always change it. And if you can always change it and you never finish it, then it could be great. It could be amazing. It could be perfect. But the moment you finish it, it is what it is. Did you make a mistake? Did you make a bad call? Did you not understand that you should have taken a right when you took a left? And what I started realizing is the couch behind me, I remember I'd be like laying there watching some stuff with my dogs and, you know, on TV, and I'd be like, you know, I should work on Crash Tones, but you know what, man, it's too late tonight. It's like 8 p.m. I'm tired, and, you know, I've had a hell of a day. I'm not going to do it. And I started realizing that my own laziness was actually fear in disguise. It was actually me not wanting to finish what I'd started. Because like I said, once you finish it, it's only as good as what it is. It's never going to be anything more than what you made it to be. But the upside is a finished bad song, or a finished bad TV show, script, poem, any creative project, anything that gets finished is infinitely better than a half-finished project. Because the half-finished product never sees the light of day. I have friends who have many half-finished projects, and by the way, I have half-finished projects, and it's never going to be anything, you know, unless someone finishes it. So I basically had to tell myself 2 years ago, like, okay, put it on the front burner. And one of the things I discovered was, again, like I said, my laziness sitting on that couch was fear in disguise. So I had to figure out, well, what are you afraid of? And the thing I was afraid of is the fact that when I released the first album, I had no expectation that anyone was going to listen to it. When I put out Colorful of the Stereo, I barely started working in the industry. I was like early or mid-20s. And I didn't, you know, it was just like I could put whatever I wanted in that record and whatever. It was very personal at times, and sometimes it was very offensive and satirical. And I never had to worry about how people would react to it because I was like, whatever. No, who's going to hear this? This time, I'm a little bit more established in the industry than I was, say, 14 years ago. And the fear was that you guys were going to listen to it. That was terrifying. It's like awful. And that alone slowed me down, especially writing lyrics and stuff. That there are, you know, that there are people who have been like, oh, when's the album coming? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, shit. And the idea that people, you know, because again, the Crash Sounds is just my thing. It's just a solo project. It's my imaginary band, and you know, it's only as good as it is. But I wanted to do it all myself. I wanted to write it myself, write the lyrics myself, play it myself. Although, you know, my buddy Tim Hibben, at SoulDog1 on Twitter, at SoulDog1, incredible drummer, brought so much creativity to the project. But then I also wanted to mix it myself, learn how to properly mix a record, or at least mix it better. Not necessarily proper. I didn't do it properly. But I did a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of learning, a lot of talking to people. Want to learn how to produce a record property because it's not, guitar sounds and different ways of recording things don't just happen by themselves, which was something that I thought in the first record. I was like, yeah, you just kind of record and it sounds cool. And, this one I was like, no, you have to make it sound cool, piece by piece. And the way that I thought about it is like when a kid presents a crayon drawing to their parents and says, hey, I made this for you. They don't go out and get some famous artist to fill in the background and then draw the big smiley face on the front, So I thought it would be more interesting as a project if I did literally everything on it. And then, of course, again, sought help at one point. You do have to get people's ears on it, people's opinions, So my cousin Michael J. Witwer, who runs a studio called Volta in Northern California. So he helped me. He helped teach me how to make a record the first time with Colorful of the Stereo. And this time it was, I wanted to get his ears on what I was doing and spend like a day on each song trying to improve the mix. And then, or give me more notes. I had Chuck Hurstis, who was Rex Remus. We went to Skywalker Ranch. We have a previous stream if you want to hear all about that process of going to Skywalker and working on the record. So I definitely had friends come in and help check my work, which is, I think, a natural part of the creative process. You checking with people you trust and going, what do you think? What are you getting from this? But the biggest thing, guys, was just getting over that fear. The biggest thing was like going, okay, it's going to be whatever it is. It's important that it's finished. That's the most important thing. And that's that. So, anyway. You guys are very patient with my rambling. But by the way, it's like the same thing with Days Gone, like this was, as of several years ago, just a few pieces of technology where you could get like 400 or 500 creatures all running on the screen together, and that was neat. And then John Garvin's like, well, yeah, it's neat. Oh, buddy. It's neat, but it's not anything until you put it in a game. Oh! Okay. Whoa. All right. Wow, there's that. Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah, I love those guys. So anyway, yeah, it is what it is. It only ever is what it is. Being human, same thing, is what it is. We did some things really well, some things I wish we'd done better, but the fact is, I think at the end of the day, we did something a little bit special with being human. I think, anyway, that's my opinion. I have this weird thing when it comes to creative projects. I go, it doesn't have to be perfect, but what it does need to be is it has to have the potential to be someone's favorite thing. Right? Battlestar, that was a nuts thing. But yeah, it's like, as long as something is special enough or unique enough or has enough personal content in there to be somewhere's favorite thing, then I think it's worth doing, As long as it's good enough to kind of hit the idiosyncratic needs of a single human being somewhere, then I think it's worth it. And I think, for example, playing Days Gone, I'm like, I'm hearing from all these people on Twitter, like, oh my god, I think this might, I've just finished it, played it for 60 hours, this might be my favorite game. And I think this, I say with hoping that you guys agree, but I think this game does have that potential to be some people's favorite thing when it comes to games and stuff, or, people like these characters and stuff. And boy, would I love to, the other thing about creative projects is you love to go back. You love to revisit something that you did and see if you can iterate on it, see if you can learn from it, see if you can make it better. So boy, I can only hope that we go back to the world of Days Gone at some point, because, so many lessons can be learned from that. So okay, so I think I burned out the nests, and now I go on the bike and stuff. Oh yeah, the Star Wars RPG stream, guys. Me and Freddie Prinze Jr. and the cast of Star Wars Rebels did a thing called Gag Wars, where we played the Star Wars role-playing game by Fantasy Flight Games, and I ran it for them. And let me tell you guys, they're hilarious. If you want to go on YouTube, you can check it out. You can see the madness that happens when you get the Rebels cast involved in the Star Wars role-playing game. And some of them, by the way, had never played a role-playing game before. And that was so awesome to see how they related to it. It was really, really fun. Oh, I don't want to hit that. Oh, God. Super possible bit! Fool. So, yeah, it's, is the, and will we ever do that again in terms of the Star Wars Rebels cast doing an RPG? My guess is, oh yes. So stay tuned. You never know what that group of people is going to come up with. Oh, dude, role-playing games are like my favorite thing ever. Seriously, like it's an incredible hobby. And if you're curious as to like what it is or how it works, just go online, watch Critical Role, Matt Mercer and them, or you know, like what is my mission here? Wait a second, I totally need to pay attention here. You know, you got to think of the American Being Human as like a group of different characters. You know, like we never intended it to be the same people. So I think the two series in that way kind of complement each other, or at least I'd like to think it does. All right, so. Otter Camp, World's End. Huh. Darth Maul. I do love that character. And I'm happy to tell you guys all, Darth Maul will be, I'm sorry, not Darth Maul, formerly Darth, now just Maul. Maul will be in the new season of Clone Wars. I'm happy to tell you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think, oh, there's one more. Clear the logging infestation zone. So there's another, clear out the nests. So there's one more, I guess. I'm going to clear out the nest, and I think that's it for the evening, guys. But guys, thanks so much for being so cool and patient with all of my talking about creative projects and stuff that you have no reason to care about. It's very, very kind of you guys. Maybe it's in one of the, oh. Super possible bit. Okay. Yeah, again, like I said, it's always cool to go back and revisit stuff. And that's funny, like once you finish something, there's always those things that will totally get at you about them. Things like you're just like, why did we do it like that? Or why did we make that call? And you ultimately just have to forgive yourself, but it's tricky sometimes. But it is what it is. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. Wow. You know, that's the thing, guys. Like, a lot of things have rough starts. A lot of things that become excellent have rough starts. No one ever really knows exactly what they're doing from the get-go. That's not really a thing. And when things go really, really well for people who are first-timer and something, that's, you know, ultimately a lot of luck goes into that. I remember Ron Moore talking about Battlestar Galactica with me, and he said, you know, it was just one of the projects where everything went right. It was bizarre. You'd go in and you'd have like a, you know, you'd meet with the wardrobe, and like, it was fantastic. You're like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's incredible. And you'd go and see the visual effects, and you'd be like, holy shit, Gary Otzel's killing it. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Okay, you boys just keep right on sleeping.
And it was just kept, you know, everything. The cast, I mean, top to bottom, the cast of Battlestar Galactica is like some of the most incredible actors that have ever assembled for any TV show ever. So, you know, but at the same time, it must be recognized that that was luck. You can't just, you know, of course you can plan, oh, we're going to get the best actors and the best visual effects and the best costume, and the best this and the best sets. But then you let it rip, and people do their best, and you have always a time constraint and a budget constraint on anything. So, you know, you just hope it works out. In the case of Battlestar, I dare say it did work out. But it's one of those things that, you know, there are these armchair creative people who never really actually throw their hat into the ring and try to make something and realize that, like, it's not as simple as, oh, it should have been like this or it should have been like that. It's difficult, and it's complicated, and it's always on a really unfair time limit.
Is that the last of them?
And talent is being able to perform under those circumstances. That's what talent is, I think. You know, there are no such thing as ideal circumstances.
Hey, Deke, how'd it go? Were there a lot of them?
Nah, it wasn't too bad. That's why I wanted to find out the dark out. Strong as hell. Yeah, Boozer. I knew that.
Thanks for doing that, Deke.
Guess and shut eye, Boozer. Deacon out.
Alright. I'm hoping that we can head back to camp, and then that'll be it. Hey, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Like, everyone has been totally awesome and sweet and polite, and I don't know. Me and Chuck talk about it. The Twitch community that we deal with, our folks, give us hope for humanity, because the internet is such an anonymous place, right? And no one ever really sees anyone face to face, and that is the easiest place to become a rude asshole, right? And I'm very happy that the core community here that me and Chuck deal with are just like very, very cool, supportive, awesome people. So thank you guys for being that way. We really totally appreciate it. And again, want to say Jack Fletcher and Morphe, MVPs. These are the guys you want on your side when you're trying to do this Twitch thing. And it's been great privilege to have you guys watching my ass. Hello. Well, let's see if I can get back to camp. No. No. Okay. Ah, nah. Okay. Shit. Okay. That's not good. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yes. Yes. It's time to upgrade stuff. I want this bad. I want it so bad.
Open it up. Just stay
All
out
right.
of them. Yeah.
Let's see what we can see here. All right, guys. Let's. You know what? Let me turn this into Cope, and here we go.
Hey, Cope. I think Leon was bringing you this.
You made a wise choice. Wise choice. You go see Manny. Maybe he can help you with that bike of yours.
You, need some?
Yes. Nice.
So,
Jim. Oh, what's up? Hold on. Let's see what Manny has to say. Hold on for a second.
yeah, got some good stuff in stock.
Cool. By the way, Manny, played by Andrew Caccino, who is Shaw Guerrera on the Clone Wars. So that's kind of cool. By the way, the gym question. My gym is these guys. I jog these guys all the time. That's all I've really had time for recently, but then I'm going to start hitting the gym again more consistently. Thank you very much, Turkovner. Damn you, Moth. You son of a bitch. Yeah, anyway, speaking of that Crash Zones thing, if you guys are curious about it, there are, if you follow the links on the Twitch page, or Jack Fletcher, I'm sure we'll put one up. Or just go to www.samwitwer.com. Like, all of the stuff I've been doing recently is on there. Days Gone. Or Art and Arcana, by the way, is going for $21 on Amazon, guys. You can't beat these prices. Shut up, Manny.
All right.
So, yeah, Art and Arcana is the visual history of Dungeons & Dragons that me, my brother, John Peterson, and Kyle Newman wrote. And it's a 450-page book with lots of pictures, tons of very colorful pictures, and if you love D&D, you got to learn about it. So if you go to www.samwitwer.com, you can get links to all this stuff and find it. But Art and Arcana is going for $21, which, by the way, means it's selling well, which is awesome. Why is Crash Zones not on iTunes yet? Colorful of the Stereo, the old album, is on iTunes. But the other stuff is going up there on May 7th. The reason is I wanted the people who wanted the physical copies of the album to have it first, because, you know, it's just, I wanted to kind of do that special, you know. But May 7th, it's going to be everywhere else, including everywhere else. So you can check it out. But if you do want to hear it digitally, the vinyl link does have MP3 versions for sale as well. Spotify, again, May 7th. You're going to see that. May 7th is the actual release date. I just wanted to open it up early for people who wanted physical copies and stuff. So, big day, May 7th. But, yeah, guys, Amazon Music, you can go to look it up on Amazon right now. You can pre-order it on Amazon Music. You can also pre-order it on iTunes. It is up there. And you can hear one song. It gives you one track right away if you pre-order it on Amazon or pre-order on iTunes. So yeah, guys, if you check it out, and yeah, guys, just thank you so much for being. Oh God, no, God. Back. Did my mic come back? Oh my God, did it come back? Okay, good. Anyway, thanks so much, guys and girls and folks, and you guys are wicked, and I love you all, but I'm not in love with you. That's.
But just remember, you know, it's like, how do you get this protein shake directly into the bloodstream? Yeah, you're right, schnapps.